Anne of the Palatinate, known in France as Anne of Bavaria, Princess Palatine, was a princess of the Palatinate and Countess Palatine of Simmern by birth, and was the wife of Henri Jules de Bourbon, eldest son of Louis, Grand Condé. Following her father-in-law's death, her husband succeeded as Prince of Condé, a purely honorary title, but one of the highest ranking in France. She was also the Princess of Varches in her own right from 1708. Background: Anne was born in Paris, the second of the three daughters of Prince Palatine Edward. Her mother was Anna Gonzaga, a well-known Parisian political hostess and sister of the Queen of Poland. Marriage: at the age of 15, she was engaged to Henri Jules, Duke of Enghien, the only surviving child of the famous military commander the Grand Condé. The Grand Condé was the most senior prince of the blood at the French court and held the highly prestigious rank of First Prince. Henri Jules was his heir, and prior his succession to the purely honorary title of prince, was styled the Duke of Enghien and was addressed Monsieur le Duc. The marriage ceremony took place at the Palais du Louvre on the 11th of December 1663 in front of the court, with Louis XIV and the rest of the royal family in attendance. At this time, she became known as Madame la Duchesse, referring to the title Duchess of Enghien. She held that title till the death of her father-in-law in 1684, when Anne took on the style of Madame la Princesse. Her husband, who suffered from clinical lycanthropy, was greatly supported by his wife, known in French as Anne, Princesse Palatine. Anne and her husband had 10 children in all. Anne, described as very pious, generous and charitable, was well praised by many at court due to her very supportive nature towards her husband, despite that her husband, who was prone to great rages, would often beat his quiet wife, even in the presence of other courtiers. Of her many children, 5 survived infancy. 4 of those went on to marry. Her mother was instrumental in helping bring about a marriage between her niece by marriage, Elizabeth Charlotte of the Palatinate, and the brother of Louis XIV of France, Philippe of France, Duke of Orleans, in 1671. Elizabeth Charlotte was Anne's first cousin, the fathers being brothers. In 1708, when her cousin Charles IV, Duke of Mantua, died, being his heiress, Anne Henriette became the Princess of Varches in her own right. Charles IV was the last Duke of Mantua. The next year, Anne's husband died in Paris on the 1st of April 1709, aged 65, making her son, Louis, the next Prince of Condé. Louis died the next year, and his son Louis Henri, Duke of Bourbon, became the next holder of the title, and was the princess for whom the Rue Palatine was named, the road in the 6th arrondissement of Paris where she had lived in the Petit Luxembourg, next to the Luxembourg Palace in Paris, and also owned the Château du Rancy, which was sold to the House of Orleans in 1769. The Princess Palatine died in Paris at the age of 74, having outlived her husband and all but 2 of her children, namely the Princess of Condé and the Duchesses of Maine. On her death, the Principality of Varches became extinct. The title was claimed by her son, the Prince of Condé, and her nephew, the son of her sister, Louise Marie of Bavaria. She was buried at the Carmel du Faubourg Saint-Jacques in Paris. Issue: Ancestry, Titles, Styles, Honors and Arms. Titles and Styles: the 13th of March 1648 to 11 December 1663, Her Serene Highness Princess Anne of the Palatinate. The 11th of December 1663 to 11 November 1686, Her Serene Highness the Duchess of Enghien, Madame la Duchesse. The 11th of November 1686 to 1 April 1709, Her Serene Highness the Princess of Condé, Madame la Princesse. The 1st of April 1709 to 23 February 1723, Her Serene Highness the Dowager Princess of Condé, Madame la Princesse.